Have you ever just stopped and wondered how our digital world actually works? How your phone remembers literally everything about you, from your entire photo library to what you left in your shopping cart last week? Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain on the silent, powerful engine that runs pretty much everything. We're talking about the database. Okay, let's get into it. Just think for a second about the apps you use all day, every day. You're scrolling through Instagram, you're one-click ordering on Amazon, maybe checking your bank balance. It all just happens. It feels seamless, instant, almost like magic. But here's the thing, it's not magic at all. It's memory. I mean, every single like you've ever given, every photo you post, every purchase you make, every dollar you move around, all of that information has to be stored somewhere, right? It has to be remembered perfectly, and it has to be found instantly and kept super secure. So the big question is, where does all that stuff actually go? And you know what? The answer is incredibly simple. It all lives in a database. This is the invisible backbone behind just about every piece of software you use, and it's working around the clock 24/7 to keep your digital life and mine from falling into total chaos. All right, so what in the world is a database really? Let's break it down, get a clear definition, and find a really simple way to picture what it does. So, the official definition is an organized collection of data. But the two words you really want to latch onto here are organized and efficiently. This isn't just a random junk drawer of information. A database is a highly structured system that's built for one main purpose: to handle massive amounts of data with incredible speed and rock-solid reliability. And honestly, this is the best way to think about it. But I want you to forget about some dusty old metal cabinet in a basement. No. Imagine a gigantic, futuristic, intelligent filing system that can find any single piece of paper out of billions in the blink of an eye. And not only that, it makes sure that piece of paper is never, ever lost and keeps it completely safe from anyone who isn't supposed to see it. That's a database. No, that's a perfectly logical question. You might be thinking, okay, but couldn't we just, I don't know, dump all this information into a bunch of text files on a computer? I mean, it seems simpler, right? Well, let's imagine for a second what would happen if we actually tried that. Oh, it would be a complete and utter disaster. If Instagram used simple files, searching for your friend's profile would take minutes, not milliseconds. Amazon would probably crash if more than like a dozen people tried to shop at the same time, and your bank account, forget about it. It would be an absolute security nightmare. See, databases are specifically engineered to solve all of these huge problems. Okay, so here's the next thing you need to know. Just like you wouldn't use a hammer for every job around the house, you don't use the same type of database for every single task. They come in two main flavors, and each one is designed for a different kind of data. So on one side, you have what are called relational, or SQL, databases. Think of these as the super organized neat freaks of the data world. Everything is in perfect tables, with neat rows and columns, kind of like a massive spreadsheet. This rigid structure is perfect for things like your banking information, where every single transaction has to be precise and consistent. But then on the other side, you have NoSQL databases. These are all about flexibility. Think about your social media feed. You've got text, photos, videos, links, all jumbled together. And NoSQL database handles that kind of unstructured mix beautifully. Okay, so we've got this amazing digital filing cabinet. It's fast, it's secure, it's organized. But how do we actually ask it to find something for us? I mean, you can't just yell at it. You have to speak its language. And the way we do that is with something called a query language. Now, query is just a fancy word for a question or a command. And to ask that question, we use a special language. For those really structured SQL databases we just talked about, the language is, you guessed it, also called SQL. Now take a look at this. This little line of code might look intimidating, but it's actually really simple if you just read it out loud. It's an instruction that's literally telling the database, hey, select everything from your table of users, but only where their age is greater than 18. And what's wild is, even if there are hundreds of millions of users in that table, the database will hand back that exact list almost instantly. That's some serious power. So let's tie this all back together. We've talked about what a database is, how it's structured, how we talk to it, but let's look at where these invisible engines are humming away in your life right now. Seriously? They're everywhere. Every single time you open Instagram, a database is fetching your profile, your friend's newest photos, and all the likes and comments. When you're browsing on Amazon, databases are managing millions of products, keeping track of inventory in real time and processing every single order. And maybe most importantly, your bank relies completely on a database to make sure your account balance is perfectly accurate and secure, down to the very last penny. So at the end of the day, why does any of this hidden tech matter so much to you? Well, because without it, the digital world that we rely on, it just couldn't exist. Its power really boils down to four absolutely crucial things. You can think of these as the four pillars holding everything up. First, you've got speed, which makes our apps feel so responsive and instantaneous. Then there's accuracy, which makes sure your bank balance is always right and your Amazon order doesn't get lost. Then, of course, security, to protect all of our sensitive data. And finally, scalability, which is just a big word for being able to grow and handle millions or even billions of users without breaking a sweat. So the next time you use an app, any app, just remember that silent, powerful database humming away behind the scenes. It's the memory of our entire digital world, and it's faithfully recording every single one of our interactions. Every tap, every click, every like you make is another entry, another sentence in a vast, sprawling digital story. Which kind of leaves you with one final thought to chew on. What does the story of your data really say about you?